Hey everyone, welcome to PhoneArena's video review of the latest version of the T-Mobile myTouch 3G, which now has the inclusion of the 3.5mm headset jack. The other noticeably different thing about it is pretty much found under the hood. For example, it now comes with 288 megabytes of RAM as opposed to 192 from the previous one. It also comes with an 8 gigabyte micro SD card built in already, so it's great for all your storage needs. And finally, it does offer a new way of inputting text with the swipe keyboard, which we'll show you in a little bit. Now, from a design aspect, it remains faithful to the original's look and design. The other noticeable different thing about it's found on the rear, which actually uses a soft matte touch feeling material. It's great for preventing scratches and smudges, and at the same time does provide a pretty good decent grip in the hand. Everything else though is pretty much unchanged. For example, it has a slight chin, the placement of the buttons, the trackball. Everything is completely the same as we've seen previously. Construction wise, it feels very good in the hand, and you can definitely feel it has pretty good workmanship to it. The increase in memory is definitely most noticeable when you're running multiple applications or just launching them. It just feels a little bit more responsive as a whole with the device. Even moving between the home screens, you notice it's really smooth. There's no choppy or laggy look to it. So we definitely like the increased amount of memory. It just makes for the overall experience using the platform a little bit more tolerable than what we saw previously. Now, the last new feature is the swipe keyboard, which gives you an alternative way of typing messages. It does have a steep learning curve. So the way it works is that you actually make a path with your finger. You swipe in one fluid motion, it comes up with the word. If you make a mistake, it will provide you some predictive text options, so at least it has that option. Lastly, if you don't want to use that, you can always just stick to the regular method of just typing each character individually. The one gripe that we did have with the swipe keyboard is that sometimes it's very difficult to see what your finger lands on. Other than that, it works really good. After we checked out the Fender edition of the myTouch 3G, we definitely would call this device an inexpensive version of that. Aside from the noticeable lack of music applications, this device closely resembles it in every way. If you're an existing owner of the handset, the original handset, we wouldn't recommend an upgrade just because it pretty much remains the same aside from the 3.5mm headset jack if you're really into music. We would like to see a little bit more out of the handset, especially if this is $50 more than the original version. For example, we would like to see something like the Sense UI tacked on there. It'd be more than enough justification to upgrade to this handset at that point. So if you want to learn more about this handset or for all the latest cell phone reviews, news, specs, and information, you can check us out at phonearena.com.